Ever heard the one about the girl who thought she could dance? It's a classic tale of dance floor dreams and disco dilemmas. Picture this. A young girl, full of energy and enthusiasm, steps onto the dance floor, certain that she's about to dazzle everyone with her flawless moves. Every eye is on her as she twirls, spins, and sways to the rhythm, or so she thinks. In reality, our dancing queen is moving to a beat only she can hear. Each step she takes, each move she makes, is a beat or two off from the music playing. The audience watches in a mix of amusement and confusion. They're not sure whether to laugh or to give her a round of applause for her sheer confidence. And yet, despite the mismatched rhythm and the bemused onlookers, the young girl dances on, oblivious to her unique interpretation of the beat. So, there she was, thinking she's got the rhythm, when she was actually dancing to the beat of her own drum. Now, let's not forget the time when disco balls were the biggest threat on the dance floor. Picture this. The year is 1979, disco is at its peak, and the dance floor is a battlefield of flared pants and sequins. Young girls, full of energy and spirit, are throwing themselves into the wild, rhythmic chaos. The air is electric with the vibrant pulse of the music, and the glittering disco ball spins overhead, casting a kaleidoscope of light across the dancers. Now, let's hone in on one particular dancer, a young girl who's more energy than elegance. She's got the spirit of disco in her heart, and she's not afraid to let it show. Her flared pants are a little too long, her moves a little too enthusiastic, but she's having the time of her life. Suddenly, mid-twirl, she trips over her own pants. It's a spectacular tumble that sends her sprawling across the dance floor. But, in true disco spirit, she's back on her feet in no time, laughing off the mishap. Just when she thinks she's recovered from that little stumble, she finds herself caught in the sparkling lure of the disco ball. With a misstep, she's tangled in the hanging chain, spinning in circles, much to the amusement of the crowd. But wait, there's more. In the midst of all this disco chaos, she's lost her friends. The dance floor is a sea of bobbing afros and sequined dresses, and she's adrift in the middle of it. It's a hilarious game of hide and seek, with our heroine searching for her friends while trying to keep up with the beat. After a few misadventures, including a near collision with a breakdancer and a mistaken identity with a disco diva lookalike, she finally finds her friends. They're laughing, she's laughing, and the night continues in a whirl of disco delight. So, remember folks, disco isn't just about the glitter and the glam. It's also about dodging disco balls and finding your way back to your friends. Ever witnessed a dance-off that was more of a laugh-off? Let's dive right into a tale that will have you chuckling. Picture this. The disco lights are flashing, and the pulsating rhythm of the music is filling the room. A circle forms on the dance floor, and two young girls step into the limelight, all set to outshine each other in a classic dance-off. Dance-offs, they're like the Olympics of the dance floor, a battlefield where moves are weapons and every twirl, every shimmy counts. The stakes are high, the tension tangible. The dancers, armed with their passion and an arsenal of steps, are ready to set the floor on fire. The first dancer steps up, a determined look in her eyes. She starts her routine with a dramatic twirl followed by a series of quick steps. She's in her element, and the crowd is loving it. But wait, in her enthusiasm to outdo her competitor, she attempts a high kick. But alas, the kick turns out to be too high. She loses her balance and ends up doing a hilarious backward somersault. The crowd bursts into laughter as she quickly gets up, dusts herself off and takes a bow, a sheepish grin plastered on her face. Now, it's the turn of the second dancer. She begins with a confident strut, then throws in a few popping moves. She's doing great until she decides to match her competitor's high kick. And guess what? History repeats itself. She too stumbles and ends up doing an impromptu forward roll. As she quickly stands up, the crowd is in splits. She curtsies, laughing at her own misadventure, and just like that, what was once a heated dance-off has turned into a comedy of errors. The dancers, initially fierce competitors, are now laughing together, their rivalry forgotten in this shared moment of hilarity. The crowd, thoroughly entertained, cheers for them both with equal gusto. And that's how a dance-off turned into a laugh-off. Because sometimes, the best move is the one that makes everyone laugh. So, what's the moral of the story, you ask? Well, let's hit the rewind button for a moment. We've seen offbeat moves, disco balls gone rogue, and dance-offs that turned into laugh-offs. And guess what? It was all ridiculously fun. The beauty of dancing isn't about nailing every move. It's about letting loose and enjoying the rhythm of the moment. So next time you hit the dance floor, remember, it's not about the steps. It's about the missteps that make the best stories.